Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 32. Today we're going to be going in between numeric and word form expressions. To do so, first we need to understand the order of operations. We've touched on this before. To do so, we're going to review the mnemonic device PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Common Core, I'm probably not supposed to talk about this, but it is very useful, I think. And there is no thinking way for this. It's just the convention of things. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses. Everything in parentheses gets done first. The parentheses are just something saying, do me first. Next come exponents. And then, this is tricky, it's multiply or divide first, whichever comes first left to right. Multiplying and dividing are essentially the same operation and are given equal weight. So whichever comes first left to right, multiply or divide is what we do. And same goes for adding and subtracting. As we get into higher math, negative numbers, we find that adding and subtracting are very, very related. And those also are done whichever comes first, left to right. So those are the order of operations. For this first word form expression, I want to put it into a numeric expression, one with numbers. So I need to break down what the author is saying here. We'll start right in the beginning there. Twice the sum. Well, twice is 2 times. And then twice of what? Twice the sum of these two numbers. So as I break that down, twice is again 2 times, the sum is adding 3/5 plus 1 1/2. So now I have here twice the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. Next we have a little bit of a change up, but it is very similar. This time instead of taking twice the sum, I am taking half of the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2. So there's a half of, the sum is adding those two numbers. Now, as often with math, there's more than one way to do this. I also could take half the sum of 3/5 and 1 1/2 by adding those numbers, 3/5 plus 1 1/2, and taking half of it is the same as dividing it into 2 parts. If I divide something in 2 parts, I'm taking half. So that's another way. Well, we learned that the division sign and the fraction bar are one and the same. So I also could have 3/5 plus 1 1/2 divided by 2. There's a third way. And a fourth way, I could take my 3/5 plus 1 1/2 and then take a half of it. There's 4 different ways. In math, we must be flexible. You should be able to, if given these 4 different ways, identify them as being equal to that word expression that we have above. Also, be cautious that while multiplication is commutative, order doesn't matter, division is not. So something that would be absolutely incorrect would be to say that this is the same as 2 divided by 3/5 plus 1 1/2. Taking 2 of something and dividing it by a number is a lot different than taking that number and dividing it by 2. So this is very bad. Not true. You could be asked to go in the other direction. You could be given a numeric expression and be expected to put it into words. So in this case, I have 2/5 of the difference between 1/2 and 4/10. So I just need to write that into words. So here we have 2/5 the difference of 1/2 and 4/10. Now again, there are other ways to do this. We could have 2/5 times the difference of 1/2 and 4/10, and then the product of 2/5 and the difference of 1/2 and 4/10. So perhaps there are other ways to do this as well. Just be careful that your sentence, when followed, using the order of operations will give you exactly the same answer as the expression that they wrote numerically. And that's the end of today's lesson.